Hey guys, welcome to another stream on the Iron Man, and welcome to another stream on my channel. Kenny, you made it. I wasn't sure. Figured you'd probably be still doing overtime tonight. Glad to see you could make it. And as everybody can see from the title, it's going to be the Iron Man. And if you look up above in the chat, we're probably going to be, well, no, I'm not going to say probably. We're going to, or I'm going to do the Pearl next week. It's been a long time since I've done the Pearl. I just happened to look at the picture and I see the shadow, right? No, I see the shadow on this shoulder and I'm like, the heck is that? So yeah, gonna do a work on the Iron Man tonight. It's kind of funny because as I was getting stuff out, I realized that I have to finish something soon on one of these builds because I am out of boxes to put these things into. You know, I'm down to a cardboard box for the Iron Man. I usually have plastic boxes. If you've been paying attention, or if you've been on Discord, you'll see that I finished the F-16 model. It's in the other room right now. I need to do some write-ups on it on HLI, Hobby Link International, before I do a video on it. I'm going to do probably 15 to 30 minute video on it. I am really happy with the way that it came out. I had actually set it aside for a while because I was not too happy and I wasn't sure how it was going to come out, how I was going to paint it and everything. And I'm just pleased with how the painting came out. I was surprised that I was able to do it as well as I was able to. It's beautiful. I put it on a piece of foam. When I did the foam, it was funny because I learned about spray paint and styrofoam. Styrofoam doesn't like spray paint, so I have a desert surface to work with for upcoming builds, and I've already got an idea what I'm going to do for that build. Matter of fact, if this stream runs a little bit short like I think it might, I have one of the models that's going to go on there. I may do just a quick review on it. So packaging up orders. I take it you're talking about the FX01 cards, and I'm really happy to see them going as quickly as they are. I just need to once I have a little bit more cash. Yeah, they are. Maybe not a crash scene, Eric, but desert scene. But I'm glad to see that they're flying off the shelves. That means you're going to keep having them made. That way, I've only got 2. I probably want to have a stock of about 5 or 6 of them laying around because I've got boards for like the last 7 years that I've never gotten around to putting them in anything, and those are actually some of the best boards I've ever seen for just some flashing lights, you know. Looking forward to the next 2. If I find a Batwing, I might pick up a Batwing board. I don't have a Falcon right now. I do have the Bird of Prey. I have several Bird of Preys laying around. It increases the anticipation. Need a bit more. Well, see, that's the thing is need a bit more cash is not a consistent thing. It's just that it's been an expensive couple of weeks. If they do sell out, probably. Oh, that's cool. So let me flip cameras and we can actually pull in anybody who does not know what boards we're talking about. This one here is the HLI FX001. This has been running at 9 volts or thereabouts. It's been running at 9 volts or thereabouts for, what is it, May, June, July, August, September, 4 months now. Sometime around a month and a half ago, I surpassed what the expected what the warranty would normally run, what they expect that people would actually operate it. So I think that's a huge testimony about how well these boards are made. And then this is the HLI FX002. The red LED here flickers a little bit, not enough that you can see it on a camera like this. It works better with a strip of LED tape, from what I understand. Need to do a bird of prey here soon so that I can actually wire one of these or put one into a model. And then the long push, that fires the disruptors, and short push fires a photon torpedo. Hey, not a problem, Kenny. I love these boards. I want you to keep selling them so that you keep making more. So, like I said, we're doing the Iron Man. Here is pack 7. There's not a whole lot of parts tonight, so unfortunately. This is pack 7, and you can see all the pieces I already have. This is pack 8. Pack 9. Only 4 pieces to pack 9. And pack 10. Few pieces, some long screws, some friction stickers. With these parts, we're going to finish most of I think it's the forearm, forearm and the shoulder. I don't think it's the upper arm, and we don't attach the hand yet. The hand having been the most intense part of the build so far, because of all these little joints. I'm really, really impressed with the workmanship on this. I do have to say, though, after letting it sit, working it, the fingers are a little bit loose. I don't think that the screws are coming loose. I think it's just what's going to happen as the model gets older. And I still love these legs. There, you can see that a little bit better. Let it closer up. And just in case anybody's curious, I have, as Donnie has, given up on... Wait. You mean like this, Mark? There you go. I have given up on the droid cam because I started having some issues. I started having some... because I use all LED lights. It started causing problems with strobing. So I'm using just the 2 cameras I have now. I'm going to get a third one eventually. No, my first one, the one that I first came on with, is 7 years old. So truly any decent camera should work great. I do have a generic, similar to the 922 that I have up there. It's a generic camera, but it strobes really bad with the LEDs. So let me open this pack up. Couple of little packs of screws. Let me just make sure, because they were hidden in there. Got some BP and DM. M denoting metal, P denoting plastic. That's what they go into. I don't remember what actually, yes I do. This used to be my screw box for the DeLorean. I'm going to put the screws away as usual. And it was kind of funny when I first looked at this tonight. I looked and I'm like, wow, I have no spare DM screws, but I have EM screws, so I'm thinking I just haven't gotten any DMs yet. Some BPs. I'm going to adjust that camera just a hair because I'm literally almost off camera with where I'm going to end up working. Like I said, I just redid, much better. Just redid the cameras. When I picked this up, I could feel it. At least one of these pieces are metal, if not both. So this one is plastic. This one is plastic. This one here is metal. And I did see something, I think it's further along than I am. There are some metal pieces where when they painted them, they had a piece of metal sticking in that was just to hold it, I guess. Actually, it might have been this one. There was some people have had a piece of metal stuck in there that they had to pull out. Now, I don't have that one, so I guess I'm fortunate. Move the screws out of the way, and so I can open the book. So this is a forearm plate. This is the right forearm and the forearm top. This part is actually going to it's going to screw in. I know there's some parts, as I was looking through the magazines, there's some parts that are going to just clip in tonight. So this tab here with the lug here with a screw hole in it, tab will go through there and a screw will go into that screw hole. Come on, focus. There we go. Just slides in there just like that. The tab is sticking in here, screws in, the lug is under that hole there. I do have to say this camera does not focus near as well as the Droid Cam does. And I just realized the same thing I do with the Enterprise. Wow. Always hate to hear that somebody has lost somebody. Okay, let me get back on track. Kind of threw me there for a second. Kelly is a very sweet lady, and it's really sad that she has lost somebody like that. Alright, so a BP screw is going to go into that hole right there. I'm going to slot it in there. Oops, almost pushed it out. Probably could have... No, it's plastic. I was going to say probably could have used some WD-40 on there, but it's plastic. So like I said, screw goes in there like that, locking that part on, and man, I love that sheen. I love the way that looks. Well, that was stupid. It would help if I actually looked at everything I'm doing. Underneath this part that I just put on is where the arm plate is supposed to be. So I got to take this back off, see if I can get that screw to come back out of the hole. So yeah, this part here, before I put that part on, there are 3 pins there, 3 holes there in the metal part. You can see this is for the right arm. No, Eric, no blowing things up. And actually, Eric and I were talking today, and it's kind of awesome. It's rough on him that he's had that surgery and he's still recovering. But it's awesome for his stash because his stash has grown immensely. So let me put this back on here. And put the screw back in. And speaking of Eric's stash, one of the models he's going to be getting from me soon in case anybody's interested, is the Bismarck. And if you go over to modelexpo.com, they are currently having a huge sale on that kit. Their list price, which is way overblown, is $299, but you can pick up the kit for $69 plus shipping for the 1/350 scale Bismarck. Oh, did you pick it up from Model Expo, Mark? Because honestly, at that price, I'm eyeballing it and going, I'm not going to back out on Eric, from Eric, but I might pick up another one just because it's relatively cheap. Okay, so this, I'm just looking to figure out how this goes on here. Okay, it goes that way. That is, on Amazon, it's $90. And Model Expo I've been using forever. Matter of fact, that's where I got many of my wooden model kits. Okay. While I was talking, I was looking at this. So on here, you can see this square hole here and that round hole there. Square lug goes in there. A screw will just go through to hold it in place. Actually, the lug comes up a little bit. You can see come on, focus. I need to find my white envelope I used to keep here specifically for this. Okay. So you got that square lug here, the round lug there. It will fit in here like that. And then since this is, yes, square peg, round hole. Since this is a metal part we're going into, it's going to be the DM screws. And actually, it says to put a DM in both the round hole and on the square lug. That's why there's a bit of a flange on the DMs. Eric, I need to find a Hulk model. That way you can go smash at it. Or a Hulk Buster. That would be kind of cool if they came out with a Hulk Buster armor. So that's threading in. And again, I didn't put any WD-40 or 2-in-1 oil or anything on it. I'm just screwing it straight into the metal, and hopefully not going to have any issues. I think I've seen it out there too. I know there are models of it, of the Hulk Buster. So come on. There we go. There's those two screws, and actually pretty impressed with how well the round screw is covering that square hole. And that is the elbow inside the forearm. That would be pretty cool. That would be really cool to have a Hulk Buster on the same scale as this. So that's all there is to do in issue 11. And on these, it's issue, pack, the same thing, because unlike the other ones, each magazine is a single step. And speaking of which, the magazines on the Fanhome website, they've charged me for the next issues, but right now they're having shipping issues, so they haven't sent me one yet, or sent it to me yet. Hopefully, it will soon. It was kind of funny last time because I marked this pack suddenly charged and shipped when I marked the last shipment, the prior shipment before, and marked it as complete. So I'm wondering if they're doing something like that. I don't think so. They usually don't charge you, before they ship. Wow. Don't know where this grass came from. That would be awesome, GB. That would be like, let me think. The old toy from those of us that were around in the 70s. Good old Stretch Armstrong. So this part here is the inner forearm. And some more of the gold trim. This, yeah, this pin or this ball here is actually going to fit eventually into the wrist. No, Donnie wasn't decapitating my grass. Were you decapitating grass again, Donnie? Actually, it's not. Oh, no, that's right. Donnie is not decapitating grass. They got chips in, so Donnie is actually on 10-hour shifts right now. He's doing 2 hours of overtime to, because they're well behind at the plant, which is great for him because it means he gets a little bit extra in his paychecks. Yeah, when I posted that I was going to stream tonight, he emailed me last night and said he would probably be a little bit late. So EMJPBP. Is that JP? It is JP, which is kind of amazing because we're only up to IP on this box. So like I've done before, peel a sticker off, put it on here, rather than going to all the trouble of getting out the label maker and printing out the labels. When I was doing the DeLorean and the Millennium Falcon, I didn't have people watching, so I would take that time. Now I do, so I'm not going to worry about putting labels on because there's pre-made labels already there. If I remember right, with the Millennium Falcon, they didn't actually have the sticker on there. They had just a little slip of paper inside there. And, yeah. By the way, this piece here, a little bit rubbery. Plastic, 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 metal. So first thing it says to do is take the gold piece. This time I'm not going to forget it. Gold piece and put it on the inner forearm. There is a pin here. And a lug with a screw hole here goes into this hole here, and that hole there goes on here like that. You can see the pin poking through here, and the BP screw will go through there. I love this color, the screwdriver, the color of the kit. And look forward to, I don't know when for sure, but this week I should be doing a video on the space shuttle launch tower build, simply because I haven't done any videos on it or posts on HLI in just about forever. So we need these three parts. This part. Okay, so this part here with the ball on it. There's a screw hole here. And then screw hole through the part here. This slips down in here. Right here there's a recess. So you can see the recess there for the screw head, and the screw is actually going to come out there a little bit. The JP screws go on there. Or go in there. I'm sure that there are no threads in the central piece, because that way it should be able to move freely. Oh, and if you heard that click, I actually pushed it further down in. It was out about 1/4 of an inch, popped in there, and now it actually sits in there pretty well. So it is threaded on this end. And it is not going through, it is catching on the part itself. That's not working right. Take that screw back out and make sure. Let's see if I can pop this back out and make sure that that's what I was afraid of. I'm a little bit scarring there on the plastic. And make sure that this just is threaded there. Interesting. Just making sure that everything lines up the way I think it's supposed to. So that's threaded. Kind of surprises me that it's threaded in here. Let's see if I can get it to go all the way through before I put it back in there and try and hit it again. And I'm going to turn it the other way so that I'm not hitting that same spot where I've already scarred it a little bit. It may not let me do that. Keeps popping loose every time I try it. So let me try this again. Okay, I can see through there, so let me gently, ever so gently, thread this screw back in. Oh, come on. It's not wanting to play nice. It's too quiet, yes, because I'm concentrating. There we go. There we go. It was not playing nice, but now as you can see, the screw has gone most of the way through. tighten it down to where the screw head is down inside that. Make sure this is still movable. I'm not sure why it threaded through, why it would thread through on all three of the pieces, but it does. But I've got it in there, and so I'm not going to mess with it. And then this cover goes on with these tabs here, the tab here and here, going the same direction as the screw does. And then it looks like it goes in here like this. With this rubber tab, okay, the rubber tabs go inside the lowermost part of the arm. The big tab goes into here, which is going to give it some cushion. All right, Mark, I'll catch you later. You can catch the rest of the video on a rerun. So that now sits in there like that. And 4 EM screws will go in, and that will leave the wrist able to go back and forth like this, basically. So let me get out the 4 EMs. Just making sure. Okay. One screw at a time. At least get them threaded. Actually, before I do that, I neglected to show inside here. You can see the 4 lugs, each with a screw hole in it, and the sockets that they plug into. It all fits together really nicely. That one started. And again, I'm just like I normally do, I'm just starting each one and then going back and tightening them all up. That piece there. Okay. Just looking, there's a gap here, and of course it's out on the outside. It would be nice if the gap was on the inside. Huge gap there. Hopefully, as I put the screws in, it will tighten that up and close that gap. This actually got some pretty good heft to it, because you got the 2 metal pieces. Yeah, the rest of it's plastic, but those 2 metal pieces are actually pretty solid by themselves. So that's the 4th screw going in. So I'm going to tighten this all the way down. That's one of the things that people have had on a lot of these kits. I mean, I heard a lot of people had problems on the Falcon snapping off screws. And I have not, knock on wood, snapped any screws on any of the kits ever. And so there is that. Elbow bends here. And it makes a full 90 degrees with the other part of the elbow. This is a little bit loose. Once the rest of the arm goes on, it should be better. So, part 9. Don't see any screws. Okay, there are no screws in this one. This pack just has some basically decoration parts. It covers the parts here will do a lot of covering of screw holes. They're all plastic. Right forearm cover, elbow guard, and 2 elbow covers. One being labeled R1, the other one being labeled R2. They look pretty close to identical. I wonder if it'll focus. So you can see there R1 and R2. So this one here, where these screw holes are that were left open, there's 3 pins here, or 3 holes for pins, 3 pins there. This just clips down on top. Hey Kenny, let Kelly know that we're all sorry for her loss, and hope she feels a little bit better. Okay, so on this here, perfect. It even has a label on here, R1 and R2, so you can get these right. How did we get gypped there, Eric? So I'm looking at this, and it says in the magazine that this should be pointing down when it's like this. But the holes don't line up for that. Yeah, so well, that's interesting. So R2 looks almost like it might work, and it's got different sized lugs, so you can't mix them up. But it still is not straight up and down. And it does not, these pins are not going in perfectly. Okay, there. So yeah, it says it should be, this should be a straight down, but it's at an angle. Over here, if I put it facing the same direction, put the pins in the same direction, it's pretty close then. But it's still not pointing down the way it shows in the thing. But as long as they match. Actually, that's a lot better. The way it shows it straight up and down. But if when it's laying on the desk like this, so the desk it would be flat under here, it does point straight down. It just looks a little bit different when you're building it, and I verified this one and this one are pointing the exact same direction. Hey Kelly, sorry for your loss and no problem with you being late. Welcome to the stream. Trying the elbow guard. Okay, so there's a little R. Okay. There's an R in the focus. It was focused just a second ago. Okay, see the R? It says to put that on the right-hand side as you're attaching it to the elbow. And that forearm pointing down, that's going to be on the right-hand side. Let me just take a look. I'm about to put that on there wrong. But the pictures so the pictures, the description says one thing, the pictures say another. These little slots on the assembled picture are actually pointing towards the forearm, not towards the top, the upper arm. So that pushes on there just like that. And that's on there. See, it looks, this detail here faces towards the forearm. Okay, that's on the bottom of the forearm, so, no, that's on the, yeah, that's on the bottom of the forearm, so it's not going to be too bad. Not going to mess with it. These things always have a little bit of issues to them. And that was all there was to do in issue 9. And truthfully, that's all there is to do on the arm tonight. So that gives me the helmet, the foot, the hand, and now I've got the forearm. And I've said it before, and I will call it this every time. Proof that Tony Stark has a heart. I loved it when they said that in the movie, and I've used it on this ever since. Or on this every time I do anything on it. So put these away. So the problem with these little things is that they have to catch. The catch is not that good. These are fantastic if you're doing a build like this. Sorry, I'm out of screen. These boxes are fantastic for holding screws if you're building something like this. So, let me get the last one here. And I don't think, there's a screw and with a nut, actually two screws, two nuts, one's going to be a spare, and then these pads, they're friction material. I actually calls them friction discs. So this is all the shoulder. This is the inner shoulder, the very inner part, not painted at all. It's just red plastic. 2 joint washers. And 2 different covered joints, 2 different styles. Let's see if R2, R1. So those letters and numbers are going to come into play, and the FM screws with nuts. So I'm going to put these in here. First thing it says is to take it says to take one of these friction discs and put it on either side of the inner shoulder joint. As these peel, they should get. You can see here there is a hole to match up with the hole in the center of the part. Line it up as best I can. It's a little bit off. It's not perfect, but it'll be okay. The same thing on the other side. Knowing what I know now, don't push it all the way to the edge. And it's not perfect, but it'll do until something that's perfect comes along. So let me see if I can pull this one back off without mucking it up. It's a little bit stretched now, but it's still not perfect, but it'll do. And then the same thing on the 2 washers. Come on. Oh, not quite. That's passable. I'll put that there because those are going to be spares. That's passable. I just looked up and realized that for some reason I am on top chat, not all chat. I don't think I missed anything. I don't know why it does that. Okay, so that one's passable as well. So now there are these tabs here that are going to line up with the flat spots inside of here. Inside of these 2 parts. Those tabs are going to sit right up against the bottom of those flat spots there. Just to think. Yeah, it says they're supposed to be aligned to the bottom. This one's going to line up a little bit better than the other one because this one has the lug for the screw. This one right now is floating all over the place. I just want to make sure I get those tabs in the right spot. Okay, that's better. It was floating all over the place because one of the tabs was up on the top. And it says you should have basically what I've got sitting in front of me here. Except this one should be over here because it's got me putting this one over top of it like this. Yeah. It's going to go over top of it like this. The flat spots here lining up, and this one here is going to come loose while you're trying to do it. It's going to go on the screw lug there. And this is going to sit right over top of it like that, and hopefully everything is lined up. And you can see there's a hex spot for the nut there, a round spot for the screw there. Get out the screws and the nut. I'm going to push the screw through because that's going to hold everything in place. Put my finger over it, drop the nut in, take my finger off and drop the screw, put the screw back in here, and tighten it down. So interestingly enough, nothing holds these two except for the friction. Nothing holds these two parts together. There was a dot. That's what she said. I dropped my nut. Sorry. So yeah, that's pretty tight. There's another one. Yeah, that's pretty tight. It moves, but it's not flying back and forth the way it could. So this is going to, just looking at it, yeah, looking at the pictures in the book that show the rest of the shoulder. This is going to go on here like this. This should go all the way around, I think. Yeah, it goes all the way around like that. There's another part. There's the upper arm that is going to go in there between these two pieces. Of course they are. You mentioned it and it started happening. It's all your fault, Kenny. Oops. I just bumped my mouse and away went the chat window again. So, that is everything I've got on Iron Man tonight. It was a little bit, I kind of expected it was going to be a little bit shorter. And like I said, because, good Lord, I can't end the stream in under an hour. First, I'm going to take you guys through the lighting. I love the lights on this. I just wish, there's the eyes. I just wish that it was a single power supply. And then underneath here, push the button, this button right here, lights up the bottom of the foot. These parts on the hand and the feet. Hands and the feet are held on by magnets. Same here. Push button right here. Fortunately, these are very common batteries. So, Eric, if I started building the Bismarck, I couldn't sell it to you. But I did mention earlier, so let me go ahead and turn off all the lights so I don't burn out the batteries too fast. I'm already going to end up having to replace them regularly. And what I may eventually do is figure out some ways to just run lights in or run wires in so that I can actually power this from wall power, because most of my models are powered from wall power. So let me set these aside. The first thing I'm going to do is get the piece of styrofoam that I melted. So give me about 30 seconds to walk out to the garage and grab that foam. You know, sometimes I amaze myself with how brilliant I am. I brought this foam in earlier today, and I just went to the garage to get it, and it's not there. So, this piece of foam was supposed to be part of the tarmac. What I did was I painted the yellow stripe. The yellow stripe was okay, that, you know, and I was going to run some of. And this is actually what I did on the one that's working. I did, you know, run a piece of tape across it like that, and then paint the rest of it. Well, as I was doing stuff to it, and I realized how badly it was melting, I was trying to keep the coats light enough, and it just doesn't show how deep this is. This is a good. It's an inch thick piece of foam. And it's a good 3/4 of an inch in. Yes, indeed, melty. But as Eric is very proud, or very prone to do, I looked at this and I was like, you know, and my wife looked at it and she's like, I like that. That's really cool. And I'm like, yeah, but an F-16 can't go on that. F-16 would ingest everything in the world around it, and so there'd be nothing I could do. This would be a crashed jet. No, Eric, I'm not crashing it. But I looked at it and I'm like, that would work really, really good for a desert scene. And I knew I had this model. As a matter of fact, I've picked up another one and a Volkswagen thing to go with it. So this is what's going to go on there. And didn't realize until a couple of days ago when I took this out, a couple of days ago when I took this out, that I bought this on a auction site on Scale Model Graveyard, and I'm sure I knew at the time that it was already started. I forgot. So we'll do a quick review on this kit. It's a cute little kit. Looks like it's going to be a fun little kit. It should go together. It's a curbside kit, no engine, so I'm going to have a little bit of fun with it. And I'm not sure yet what the camo pattern I'm going to put on it, but it's a newer Revell kit. It's a 1/35th, which is it's an odd scale. No, 1 parts tree, or one styrene, 1 clear parts tree. Really basic kit. Put the wheels together, put the seats in, put this body on, and then paint it. The reason I bought another one of these things is because put the wheels together, put the seats in. Yeah, most of that's been done already. So I want that fun too, and there's no reason I couldn't park 2 of these Beetles on here. And I think it is actually the perfect size. And to please Eric, we could wreck one of the Beetles into the ditch. But actually, the other kit that I got to go with this, with the Beetle here, actually has a tent. So I'm going to put like a tent here. There's going to be a couple of Beetles and then the thing sitting there. So let's look at what parts are in here, even though many of them are off the sprue. So obviously, there's the body. Not bad. Good lines. It's kind of funny because it's right there in the instructions. It says sand this part down. Sand this part where the injection mold is. It tells you that you need to sand that down because of that injection point. This is not supposed to have the rear seat in. I already looked. Won't come out. It was glued in by the previous owner, and it's done pretty well, so I'm not too upset with that. Of course, no, Eric, what I should do is put a bomb not yet blowing up here. It just augured in. Matter of fact, a 2,000-pound bomb, about the size of a Beetle. Actually, let me move this out of the way so you can see the parts just a little bit better. Oh. There's the clear parts. They're all relatively decent. The windshield, the windows, other windows, the little windows in the back. You got the headlights. You got 2 different types of headlights. Let's see if I can pick it up. You take them out, you might be able to see. With the headlights, there it is. My white envelope makes things a lot easier to see. So you see the headlights there are just the regular headlights. And the headlights here have a little slot piece there. And that slot is made to simulate a metal flap that you would peel up to let just a little bit of light out. Yeah, IED. We could do. I think actually, if I can find like a 2,000-pound bomb or something like that, a model of one, or actually should be able to scratch build something, but put something in that ditch that looks like that it might be getting ready to explode. The only thing I got to do is find some 1/35 figures, because the Volkswagen thing comes with 2 guys, one a radio operator sitting there in his shorts, and the other one's a commander looking type. And so I would want to put a couple more guys in there for the other cars. 50 cal poking through the headlights. Could do that. Might put lights in it. So this here is the dash. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it to focus. There's actually some gauges on there. That's not going to focus. This is dash, more part of the center steering wheel. These are the wheels that you would use for the camouflage pattern, carrying down to the tires, carrying down into the wheel spokes. Unfortunately, the previous owner put the other wheels on. I'll still be able to work something with it. And that had not realized until I actually opened it and started looking at it. A lot of work was done. And you can see there's just a little disc in there glued into the back here, and this is your just basic steel wheel. You can see the star pattern there with the bolts. Bumpers. Not sure what those other doodads are. Might be turn signal bumps, something. A few detail parts on here. And let's see. I'm not positive what these are. The windshield wipers are here. You got the pedals. Wow. This tells you exactly how small that is. Come on, focus. That is the rearview mirror. Can't do a zombie apocalypse diorama. This is actually I could do it, but it's a desert Jeep from Third Reich and stuff. I believe this goes into the. Actually, I'm not sure where it goes, but it's gonna another detail. Teeny. And then the seats, see, this is why I bought another one, because the seats, there's two parts here. I want to say the seat back is a separate part. The seats are done. Mad Max, I could do that. I could do that. Might have to do that. That's a good idea, Kenny. I'm just looking at the box right now to see. Can't really tell. More detail parts here. And instead of the tub that you usually have with a car kit, it just has panels that go on the inside of the body itself. Another detail part, still not sure what it is. I thought this was kind of funny because this was actually in a dime roll wrapper, because the gear shift and the brake lever are separate parts. I think that's really cool that they were in there so that they wouldn't break off. But it's going to be interesting to build this up. And I like the idea, especially with the way this looks. With the way this looks, that would be really awesome to do something Mad Max wise. And I could have one of these built up and literally have it on its side or wrecked or something. There is a Mad Max group build, Eric, for 2022. It's called the Movie and TV Group Build. This? Okay, now I need to find a 1/32. God, what car was that modeled off of? The last of the V8 Interceptors. Doesn't even have to be that car. It would be really cool just to do that in general. I could just do this on its side or on its side this way, either way, and me and my lighting do some flickering LEDs inside there, flickering red and yellow LEDs, maybe an orange. So this car is wrecked and on fire. Then have the, I could at least get 3 cars, if not Ford Falcon, or something like that. You know, I can get a couple of other cars, 1/35th scale. They're not, well, they're not the cheapest, but they're not that expensive. So I think I figured out what I'm going to do with this. I was originally going to do the do a desert scene from World War II, since this is a German staff car. But I like the idea of a Mad Max build. So now I just got to find a Ford Falcon, I guess. Or actually, it doesn't even have to be a Ford Falcon. It can be any 1/32nd or 1/35th scale car, and I go with it from there. So that's what's coming up, guys. That's kind of cool, you know. I usually try and have something set up. I thought about dragging some of the Terminator over tonight, but I hate to do a parts build up, and then have 2 of them in the same one, because that way I have to start relabeling and everything else. So I like that idea. Might need this tire. I didn't see the tire looking down at the table. I saw the tire. I looked at the screen. I'm like, what is that? That's the tire. Just make sure. I would hate. Well, if this is a wrecked one, it wouldn't matter that much anyway. Okay, there's 4 tires. I'm actually thinking about that too, Eric. But that would be the shorter streams. And I would have to actually prepare a little bit more for the unboxings. And I'm gonna leave the chassis itself out of that bag. I really am impressed with the way that I got this kit. I got it about 2 years ago, and I think it was through the Scale Model Graveyard on Facebook. I am very impressed with the way that kit came to me. I'm really bad at that. I tend to look at kits. Oh, sorry, my back's out still. I tend to look at kits a little bit, you know, just kind of glance at them, never look at them for details. But no, that's a good idea, Eric. I should probably start doing some unboxings, not to steal Kenny's unboxing thunder, but I could do a video a day and go over a year for unboxings, and some of them are going to take more than a single video, because I've got some kits that are huge. So, just looking if anything grabs my attention. Not really. So I'm gonna unbox. So I wasn't saying I would be getting in your way, Kenny, because you unbox different things than I've got. I mean, I've got my stash has science fiction, Star Trek, boats, planes, cars. No tanks, no armory yet. Just very eclectic collection. I've got wooden kits, so might start doing that. I mean, that would be a little bit different than doing the part work every time. The Tuesday part works are going to continue, because I have plenty of them to still build. I got to finish the X-Wing. I got to finish the Terminator, Iron Man, of course, Enterprise. I think that's all the ones I've got going right now. But I also have a couple that are coming up when Agora Models releases them. They're releasing a London bus, and I love London buses, so of course I have to get it. Okay, so I am going to call this a stream. This is probably, other than the inadvertent stream where I streamed when I didn't know I was streaming, thought I was doing a video, I ended up streaming. Yes, I buy HI boards. But what you drinking there? This is water. I always hydrate while I'm doing the stream, but this, hang on, there, this is Beam and Coke. So I'm going to call it a stream, one of my shortest yet. I appreciate you guys stopping by. Please like and subscribe, or don't. And if you like videos of this type, please stop by Hobby Link International. There should be a link in the description. Great place to go. Great bunch of guys. Kenny has just changed the format. Used to be you had this you had levels of stuff that you would reach. He has changed it to where it's now a Star Trek theme. So you start as an ensign and you move up the ranks, with as much as you use the site. Like I said, great site, awesome site. Love going there. I go there at least once a day. And if I don't go there once a day, there's at least 2 pages, a page and a half to 2 pages, page and a half or 2 pages of new posts every day. So it's well worth it. And I was laughing because Eric posted on Discord, time for redundancy, meaning that Kenny and I are doing unboxing videos. So, like I said, like and subscribe, or don't, completely up to you. I will do videos where the people, I do the videos for me and for you guys. I have a fun, good time doing them. And, I get a kick out of seeing what people have to say. So, have a great evening, and take care of each other. Take care of yourself tomorrow, and I will catch you later.